The law of reciprocity says, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Every expression of energy requires a reception equal in value. The law of reciprocity is a law of honor. To honor something, to revere something, is to give whatever is required according to where it's due. That being said, to receive or take more than you give back is theft. That is stealing. The law of reciprocity speaks to the principle of extraction, of thievery, on an energetic level. When you plant seeds in the earth and you take care of the earth, you get back what you put in. When you care for your children and you love them well, you receive love in return. Not that you love them so they can love you, but because out of the overflow and abundance of who they are to you, your children, you love, and in a lot of ways you receive love. Even in the teenager years where it's a little bit weird, but you get what I'm saying. So that being said, the law of reciprocity speaks to the need of being replenished. There is no reciprocity if something is not being replenished, if something is not being generated back in return. We are abundant beings at the end of the day. We are abundant beings. But being abundant doesn't mean that it is independent of another factor. If you don't take care of your hair won't grow. But there's no limit to how healthy or how long your hair can get. If you don't eat, your body won't function well. But there is no, in a general sense, there is no limit to how your body can function according to how you take care of it. Your body is capable of a lot. That's all I'm trying to say. It's just the fact that if you are not replenishing something, the abundance stops. Which sounds kind of contradictory because, how can you be abundant without it just forever generating? Here's why. Because we are not source. The reason why we can even exist in this world and be functioning in our bodies is because we come from a source that we're fueling ourselves from. That is the abundance. And from the spark of our creator, the all-encompassing abundant source, we produce. But it can be drained. And the way abundance is maintained is through honor, through reciprocity. When there is no reciprocity, when there's no giving back in the abundance, what you get is lack. So for example, find yourself in these examples. When you give everything into your business and then it keeps demanding more and more and more from you, instead of taking shape according to the vision that you're trying to integrate within it, what happens? You get drained. It feels like a full-time job that doesn't pay you well. When you love a man with all your heart and then he cheats on you, and then he still expects you to give the same level of love and care and affection that you've given them before, what happens? You get disgusted. You're drained. When you do everything right, only to not even find a job after working your ass off for years and years and years in college, after all that, you still can't find a job, what happens? You get drained. It's like what I was promised or what was supposed to come out of this is not being reciprocated to me. Or let's say when you work a job for 40 to 80 hours a week and you get paid $18 an hour. You can't even provide for your children. You can barely do anything because you're so exhausted all the time. What happens? You're drained. Or the last one, when you create a masterpiece only for a larger corporation to steal it and get all the credit for it. What happens? You're drained. And it's not just that you're drained, but your spirit gets drained. Your finances get drained. Your energy gets drained. Your life force gets drained. That is what extraction is. Extraction is the action of removing something. Every single time something is given, something is taken. Not just taken from the person the energy was projected on, but it's also taken from the person who was giving that energy. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking some of my energy and putting it into the form of this video, and you are receiving it. You're taking this from me because you're listening and you're watching. This would be extraction if let's say I gave in such a way that depleted me, and I didn't set the situation up to where I could be replenished. Because we all know I'm a brand strategist. I want you to work with me. I want you to like my videos, and even just you watching also improves to the algorithm. So I'm never receiving nothing in return. However, if I put my level of giving at a higher degree than what was reciprocated or naturally reciprocated through creating YouTube videos, that would be a form of extraction. Except instead of you extracting from me, I would be positioning myself to be extracted from, which is equally as bad. And that's theft. Based on the examples I've given you and what you may be going through in your own life as a spiritual woman founder of a product-based brand, what's being extracted from you, or what could be extracted from you, is your life force energy, glory, and your star. So your life force is your creative, sexual energy. Your glory is just praise, recognition, or worship that is due unto you because of who you are and what you've done. And your star is your destiny. The systems that we exist in today have been created to steal all those things. We exist in a normalized society of theft. That's why what you put in rarely ever produces an equal and opposite reaction. That's why it's so normalized for us women to get into relationships that drain us, and then we realize the only thing that the person was offering us was not much. That's why it's so normal for us to pour into our businesses and reach these incredible heights, or pour into our corporate jobs and reach these incredible heights, only to look at the end of the day and like, I can't even function well because my body is so strained. That's normal for us, and that's completely opposite of the law of reciprocity. That is not honor. That is actually dishonor. That is disrespect. It's stealing. And sometimes you allow yourself to be stolen from, or you feel like you have to have things stolen from you to justify your existence. It's so normal. We don't even think about it. We don't even realize how disrespectful it is. And when it comes to situations like maybe you give to a friend your energy, your time, your understanding whenever she's going through something bad, and when you're going through a time that's bad, you need her to listen to you, she just ignores you, hangs up on you. That's obvious to us. But when it comes to our businesses and when we partner with different investors and things like that, we don't see it in that way. We don't realize how disrespectful it is. And the reason why we don't see it as disrespectful is, like I said, this is what the system is made for. For example, how many of us have gone through the VC route and not even recognizing that a lot of us have been invested in to become collateral damage for their power laws? Or how many times have you done some things that are so amazing for your community should just not be recognized? Or how many times have you created like such unique products just for it to be found on TikTok shop for like 90% cheaper than what you're charging? You know what I mean? Like, that's disrespectful of your energy, your time, of who you are, your vision. And it's become so normalized. It's just, I keep saying that, but like, it's so crazy that we think that this is okay. We think that this is normal, but it's not. And I want you to think back on what you've built and how your life is and your relationships and your company. Where in those things have you been disrespecting or dishonoring you, your energy, your destiny, your star, your life force, because we've normalized lack of reciprocity? We can't forget that no one does anything for free. Nothing's free in this life. We think it's just with money, but it's with everything. There's never a time where we express energy that it doesn't cost us something. So as you're scaling and as you're making these deals, as you're partnering with these influencers or whatever it is that you're doing, remember, let there be honor for you, for your sake, because people don't operate from this standard. But in order to live and scale in alignment, you absolutely need to make sure that you are existing in honor. That is how you defend your vision. That is how you defend your lineage, your bloodline. That is how you defend your family, by maintaining that standard of honor through what you allow in your life. If you're a spiritual woman founder of a product-based brand and you like this video, I have 2 options for you after you watch this video. If you are said founder and you have recently begun the journey of realigning your brand to mirror the vision that God has given you, and you are dealing with all the intricacies and the challenges that come with it, with navigating your teams, your funding, your product suites and everything to realign with what you know you're supposed to do from the beginning, I have 4 seats available for the Aligned Partnership that are linked down below. And the Aligned Partnership is where I partner with you to navigate the in-between period, basically. All the details are down below. And if that does not align with you right now, I have a newsletter called Letters from My Living Room, where I share more intimate wisdom, strategies, and activations for the spiritual founder who is determined to build an alignment. If that interests you, then definitely subscribe. I also offer all my private invitations to ways to work with me in there. And there's also a special access in the link for the newsletter as well. So make sure you click on that when you figure out what it is. Anyways, I thank you for stopping by. I'm posting every single day this September. And if you want to be notified when I upload next, which is tomorrow, or when it comes up, subscribe and click the link. Not the link, click the bell so you know when I upload. Anyways, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.